Opatija, Yugoslavia. January 17, 1986. Friday morning, 11:45 a.m. The university hospital sits like a concrete monument against the gray Adriatic winter sky. Inside, the smell of disinfectant and floor wax mixes with the distant sound of medical equipment and hushed conversations in Serbo-Croatian. Harsh fluorescent lights illuminate white walls, white floors, white everything designed to feel sterile and safe. In room 237, Jackie Chan lies unconscious. He has been unconscious for 18 hours. 18 hours since the stunt went wrong. 18 hours since he fell backward off a tree branch, struck his head on a jagged rock, and cracked his skull like an eggshell. 18 hours during which doctors were not certain he would ever wake up. The medical team surrounding Jackie's bed represents the finest neurological expertise available in Yugoslavia. Dr. Aleksandar Milenković, the head of neurosurgery, 52 years old, 30 years of experience treating head trauma. Dr. Maria Popović, the anesthesiologist who kept Jackie stable during 4 hours of emergency surgery. Dr. Stefan Novak, the radiologist who has been studying Jackie's brain scans since the ambulance arrived. None of them are optimistic. Jackie's skull fracture extends from the right temporal bone to the parietal region. A crack nearly 4 inches long that allowed bone fragments to press against his brain tissue. During surgery, Dr. Milenković removed 7 pieces of bone, relieved pressure on the brain, and inserted a steel plate to protect the damaged area. But surgery can only repair mechanical damage. The brain trauma, the bruising, swelling, and cellular destruction that occurred when Jackie's head struck the rock at high velocity, is beyond surgical correction. The doctors can only wait and hope that Jackie's brain will heal itself. At 11:47 a.m., Jackie's eyelids flutter. Dr. Milenković immediately moves to Jackie's bedside, checking pupil response with a small flashlight. Jackie's eyes open slowly, unfocused, trying to process the harsh hospital lighting. "Mr. Chan," Dr. Milenković says in heavily accented English. "Can you hear me?" Jackie's mouth moves but no sound emerges. He tries again, managing a hoarse whisper, "Where?" "You are in hospital in Yugoslavia. You had accident during film. Do you remember?" Jackie's eyes close, then reopen. His face shows the confused expression of someone trying to reassemble fractured memories. "Filming, tree. I was. Yes. You fell from tree. Hit your head. You have been unconscious for many hours." Jackie attempts to sit up, then immediately stops as pain shoots through his skull. His hand moves instinctively toward his head, encountering bandages and the strange sensation of surgical stitches under gauze. "My head. We performed surgery to repair fracture in your skull. You are alive, but injury is very serious." Over the next 3 days, Jackie slowly regains basic functions. Speech returns, though words come slowly and sometimes in the wrong order. Motor control improves, though his balance remains uncertain. Memory comes back in fragments. He remembers being in Yugoslavia for Armor of God filming, but cannot recall the specific stunt that injured him. But on the 4th day, Dr. Milenković delivers news that changes everything. "Mr. Chan, we must discuss your future." Jackie sits up in bed, still wearing hospital gowns, his head wrapped in white bandages. 3 days of recovery have brought back his mental clarity, but also his growing anxiety about returning to work. "When can I go back to filming?" Dr. Milenković exchanges glances with Dr. Popović. They have discussed this conversation extensively, knowing it would be difficult. "Mr. Chan, you cannot return to filming. Not the kind of filming you do." "What do you mean?" "Your skull fracture was nearly fatal. The brain trauma you suffered would kill most people. You survived only because of exceptional physical conditioning and immediate medical treatment." Jackie's expression shows he does not understand the implications. Dr. Milenković continues, "The steel plate we inserted will protect the damaged area, but your skull is now permanently weakened. Another impact to the head, even a relatively minor one, could cause catastrophic brain damage or death. But I heal fast. I always heal fast. This is not about healing. This is about physics. Your skull cannot withstand the impacts that your profession requires. One more serious head injury and we cannot save you." Jackie is quiet for nearly a minute, processing this information. "What are you telling me to do?" "Retire from stunt work immediately. Find another career that does not involve physical risk. Live a long, healthy life away from dangerous activities." Dr. Milenkovic's tone is gentle but absolutely firm. "Mr. Chan, I have treated hundreds of head trauma patients. Those who ignore medical advice and return to dangerous activities typically do not survive their second major injury. Jackie stares at the ceiling. Everything he has worked toward for 15 years, his reputation, his unique position in Hong Kong cinema, his identity as an action star who performs his own stunts, is being taken away by medical reality. How long do I have to decide? There is nothing to decide. The medical facts are clear. Your skull cannot handle another major impact. Period. Jackie says nothing. That night, alone in the hospital room, Jackie Chan faces the end of his career. He is 31 years old, at the peak of his physical abilities, with dozens of film projects waiting for his return. Hollywood has finally started paying attention to Hong Kong action cinema. International audiences are discovering Jackie's unique combination of martial arts, comedy, and death-defying stunts. But according to the medical experts, all of that is over. Jackie cannot perform stunts anymore. Without stunts, he is just another martial arts actor in a market saturated with martial arts actors. His entire value proposition, the guarantee that audiences are watching real danger, real skill, real commitment, disappears if he starts using stunt doubles and safety measures. For the first time in his adult life, Jackie Chan considers quitting the entertainment industry entirely. But first, he needs to understand exactly what he is facing. The next morning, Jackie asks Dr. Milenković to explain the medical details in complete, honest detail. "Doctor, tell me everything. Not the safe version you tell worried patients. The real truth." Dr. Milenković hesitates. "Mr. Chan, this information will not change the medical recommendations. I need to understand what I am dealing with." Dr. Milenković spreads Jackie's brain scans on the bedside table, X-rays and CT scans showing Jackie's skull from multiple angles. Here, he points to a dark line across the right side of Jackie's skull. This is the fracture. It required surgical intervention because bone fragments were pressing against brain tissue, causing dangerous intracranial pressure. Jackie studies the images. He has seen enough medical footage in his films to understand basic anatomy, but this is the first time he has seen his own brain. "The steel plate we installed provides protection," Dr. Milenković continues, "but it also creates a weak point. If you suffer another head trauma, the force will be concentrated around the edges of the plate, possibly causing worse damage than the original injury. What kind of impact would be dangerous? Mr. Chan, you must understand, your profession involves impacts that would hospitalize normal people even before any head injury. With your current condition, activities that seem harmless could be fatal." "Like what?" "Falling during a fight scene. Being struck by a prop. Landing hard during an acrobatic sequence. Even something as simple as hitting your head on a low door frame could potentially cause serious problems." Dr. Milenković shows Jackie additional scans. Here is the brain tissue around the injury site. This dark area represents bruising that may cause permanent changes to your cognitive function, balance, and motor control. What changes? We will not know for weeks or months. Head trauma affects people differently. Some patients experience memory problems. Others have difficulty with coordination or balance. Some develop personality changes or emotional instability. Jackie absorbs this information without comment. "Mr. Chan, I have treated professional boxers, race car drivers, and other athletes who suffered similar injuries. Those who ignored medical advice and returned to dangerous activities typically suffered progressively worse injuries until..." Dr. Milenković pauses. "Until they did not survive. How many of them listened to the advice and retired?" "Most of them." "And how many of those who retired were happy with their decision?" Dr. Milenković is quiet for a moment. "That is a different question. But it is the important question." Jackie spends the next 2 days in the hospital conducting his own research. He calls Hong Kong to speak with his manager, Willie Chan, about the practical implications of retirement. "Willie, if I stop doing stunts, what kind of film career can I have?" Willie's voice over the long-distance connection is strained. "Jackie, we're talking about your life. Career considerations are secondary. But I need to know. What would I do?" "You could direct films. You could produce. You could act in dramatic roles that do not require action sequences. Would audiences accept that?" Willie hesitates. "Jackie, your reputation is built on authenticity. If you stop performing your own stunts, you become like every other action actor, dependent on stunt doubles and special effects. The magic disappears." "So retirement means the end of Jackie Chan as audiences know him?" "Essentially, yes." Jackie also calls his stunt coordinator, Mars, to discuss the technical aspects of continuing his career with safety restrictions. "Mars, is there a way to keep filming action sequences without dangerous head impacts?" Jackie, your style requires close-quarters combat, falls and collisions. There is no way to eliminate head injury risk completely. What if we use more safety equipment? Padding, helmets, protective gear? Then you are not Jackie Chan anymore. You are just another actor pretending to be dangerous. On his 6th day in the hospital, Jackie receives an unexpected visitor. Sammo Hung, Jackie's childhood friend from the Chinese opera school, has flown from Hong Kong to Yugoslavia. Sammo is also an action star and director, one of the few people who truly understands what Jackie is facing. Little brother, Sammo says in Cantonese using Jackie's childhood nickname. I came as soon as I heard. Jackie is genuinely surprised. International travel in 1986 is expensive and complicated, especially from Hong Kong to Eastern Europe. Sammo's presence represents a significant commitment. You did not need to come. I will be fine. Sammo sits beside Jackie's bed. He looks tired, the long journey, the worry, the weight of seeing his oldest friend in a hospital bed with his head wrapped in bandages. We need to talk about your future. The doctors say I have to retire. And what do you say? Jackie is quiet for almost a minute. I do not know what else I would do with my life. Sammo nods. I thought you might feel that way. Sammo, everything I am is built on being willing to take risks others will not take. If I stop taking risks, what is left? Your skill. Your creativity. Your understanding of action and comedy. But hundreds of people have those qualities. Only one person is willing to jump off buildings for real. Sammo reaches into his bag and pulls out a videotape. I brought something for you to watch. The hospital room has a small television. Sammo inserts the tape and presses play. On the screen, footage from Jackie's recent films. Project A, Police Story, Young Master, Drunken Master. Not the final edited versions, but raw behind-the-scenes footage showing Jackie performing stunts, interacting with crew members, solving problems, creating action sequences. Watch yourself, Sammo says. Really watch. Jackie sees himself coordinating complex action sequences, teaching other actors how to move safely, designing stunts that maximize visual impact while minimizing actual danger. He sees himself laughing with crew members, solving technical problems, transforming dangerous situations into entertainment. What am I supposed to see? You are not just a stuntman, Jackie. You are a filmmaker who happens to perform his own stunts. If you cannot do the stunts anymore, you can still make the films. But the authenticity? The authenticity comes from your understanding of danger, not just your willingness to experience it. You know how bodies move under stress, how impacts feel, how fear affects performance. That knowledge does not disappear if you stop taking hits to the head. Sammo pauses the tape on an image of Jackie directing a fight scene, his face intense with concentration. Look at that expression. That is not the face of a stuntman. That is the face of an artist. Jackie studies the frozen image. He sees something he had not noticed before. Even while performing dangerous stunts, his attention was focused on creating the best possible scene, not on the personal risk. Sammo, what if I am not brave enough to be an artist? What if I only know how to be a stuntman? Then you learn. The way you learned everything else. That evening, Jackie makes the most difficult decision of his life. He calls Dr. Milenković to his room. Doctor, I understand the medical risks you have explained. Good. Then you will retire from stunt work. No. I will modify my approach to stunt work. Dr. Milenkovic's expression shows alarm. Mr. Chan, this is not a negotiation. Your skull cannot withstand another major impact. I understand. So I will design stunts that minimize the risk of head trauma while maintaining authenticity. That is impossible. Your profession inherently involves head trauma risk. Jackie pulls out a notebook he has been writing in during his hospital stay. I have analyzed every major injury I have suffered in the past 10 years. Broken bones, cuts, burns, sprains, almost none of them involved direct head impacts. Dr. Milenković examines the notebook. Jackie has created a detailed injury log, categorizing each incident by body part affected, cause of injury and recovery time. Most of my injuries come from miscalculated distances, equipment failures, or inadequate rehearsal time. Head trauma is actually rare in controlled stunt environments. But you just suffered a serious head injury. Because I attempted a stunt I had not properly rehearsed, in an unfamiliar location, without adequate safety preparation. This injury was preventable. Dr. Milenković shakes his head. Mr. Chan, one prevented injury does not eliminate future risk. No, but it shows that risk can be managed rather than eliminated. Jackie closes the notebook. Doctor, you have given me excellent medical advice. Now I am giving you insight into my profession. Most stunt injuries are caused by poor planning, not inherent danger. And if you are wrong? If your modified approach fails and you suffer another head injury, then I accept the consequences. But I cannot accept giving up without trying to find a solution. Dr. Milenković is quiet for a long time, clearly struggling with Jackie's decision. Mr. Chan, if you insist on continuing stunt work, I cannot provide medical clearance. Any insurance company, any film production, any reasonable person would consider this decision medically contraindicated. I understand. You will be taking responsibility for your own life and the lives of everyone who works with you. I have always taken that responsibility. Dr. Milenković makes one final attempt. What will you tell your family when you are paralyzed or dead because you ignored medical advice? Jackie's answer comes without hesitation, that I tried to find a way to continue doing what I love, rather than giving up without trying. On January 26, 1986, Jackie Chan is discharged from the University Hospital in Opatija, Yugoslavia. The medical team provides him with detailed instructions for monitoring potential complications, regular neurological examinations, immediate medical attention for any head pain or dizziness, strict limitations on physical activity for at least 6 months. Jackie signs multiple waivers acknowledging that he is ignoring medical advice at his own risk. But as he leaves the hospital, Jackie is already planning his comeback. The flight from Yugoslavia to Hong Kong takes 14 hours. During that time, Jackie designs a new approach to stunt work based on the principles he discussed with Dr. Milenković. Risk management rather than risk elimination. He creates detailed protocols for stunt preparation, extensive rehearsals, multiple safety systems, emergency medical personnel on every set, strict limitations on head impact scenarios. Most importantly, he develops new choreography techniques that emphasize visible danger over actual danger. Stunts that look incredibly dangerous to audiences but are carefully controlled to minimize injury risk. When Jackie arrives in Hong Kong, he faces immediate pressure from Golden Harvest studio executives to retire from stunt work. Jackie, the insurance costs alone make continued stunt work impossible, producer Willie Chan explains. No insurance company will cover a production where the star has been medically advised to avoid head trauma. Then we film without insurance. That is financially irresponsible. So is abandoning a successful formula because of one accident. Jackie spends the next 3 months developing his new stunt methodology. He works with engineers to design better safety equipment. He trains his stunt team in advanced injury prevention techniques. He creates detailed medical protocols for every production. But the real test comes when filming resumes. Hong Kong, May 1986. 4 months after the skull fracture. Jackie returns to the set of Armor of God to complete the stunts that were interrupted by his injury. The crew watches nervously as Jackie approaches the same type of tree-jumping sequence that nearly killed him in Yugoslavia. This time, the preparation is extensive. Safety mats, medical personnel, multiple rehearsals, backup safety systems. Jackie completes the sequence successfully. No injuries, no complications, no problems. But the stunt looks identical to what audiences saw in his previous films. Over the next 2 years, Jackie develops what becomes known as the post-Yugoslavia method, stunt work that maintains visual authenticity while incorporating unprecedented safety measures. The method works. Jackie continues performing dangerous stunts for the next 25 years without suffering another serious head injury. His post-1986 films include some of the most spectacular action sequences in cinema history: the clock tower sequence in Project A Part 2, the mall chase in Police Story, the ladder truck sequence in Police Story 2. But none of them involve the uncontrolled risks that characterized his earlier work. In 1995, Jackie reflects on the hospital decision during an interview with Hong Kong television. The doctors in Yugoslavia saved my life twice. Once with surgery and once by forcing me to think about risk differently. Before the accident, I took chances without enough planning. After the accident, I learned to create the same excitement with better preparation. Do you regret ignoring their advice to retire? I regret taking unnecessary risks. But I do not regret finding a way to continue doing what I love. In 2003, Dr. Aleksandar Milenković, the neurosurgeon who treated Jackie, gives an interview to a Yugoslavian medical journal about celebrity patients. I still believe Jackie Chan should have retired from stunt work in 1986. His decision to continue was medically inadvisable. However, he has survived 17 years without serious head trauma, which suggests his modified approach was more effective than I anticipated. Would you give the same advice today? The same medical advice, yes. But I have learned that some patients will find a way to continue dangerous activities regardless of medical recommendations. With those patients, helping them minimize risk may be more practical than demanding they eliminate risk entirely. In 2016, 30 years after the Yugoslavia accident, Jackie finally announces his retirement from dangerous stunt work. He is 62 years old, and his body can no longer recover from injuries the way it could in his 30s. But his retirement comes on his own terms, after 3 decades of proving that medical limitations can be managed rather than surrendered to. The steel plate installed in Jackie's skull in 1986 remains there today. In airport security lines around the world, Jackie Chan sets off metal detectors because of a piece of Yugoslav medical hardware that saved his life and nearly ended his career. But the real legacy of the Yugoslavia hospital room is not the steel plate or the medical drama. It is the proof that being told you cannot do this anymore is not the same as being told you will never find a way to do this safely. Jackie Chan's response to medical advice that should have ended his career demonstrates that sometimes the most important choice is not between safety and danger, but between giving up and finding a better way. Dr. Milenković was right. Jackie's skull could not withstand another major impact. Jackie was also right. Stunts could be modified to minimize head impact risk without sacrificing authenticity. Both perspectives were valid. Neither perspective told the complete story. The hospital room in Yugoslavia became the place where Jackie Chan learned the difference between impossible and incredibly difficult. Impossible means no solution exists. Incredibly difficult means the solution requires more creativity, preparation, and commitment than most people are willing to provide. For 30 years after being told he should retire, Jackie Chan continued proving that incredibly difficult is not the same as impossible. And that distinction made all the difference. The doctors who treated Jackie in Yugoslavia did their job perfectly. They saved his life and gave him accurate medical advice based on standard patient outcomes. Jackie did his job perfectly. He found a way to continue pursuing his passion while honoring the medical reality of his limitations. Neither approach was wrong. Both approaches were necessary. Sometimes the best answer to retire or die is find a third option. Sometimes the third option requires 18 months of research, engineering, and trial and error to develop. But sometimes the third option changes everything. In the hospital room in Yugoslavia, Jackie Chan faced the end of his career and chose to create a new career instead. That choice shocked the medical world not because it was reckless, but because it was more carefully planned than anything Jackie had attempted before. The man who nearly died from inadequate stunt preparation became the most safety-conscious action star in cinema history. And that transformation happened because a doctor had the courage to tell him the truth, and Jackie had the creativity to find a way to live with that truth without surrendering his dreams. Sometimes, the most shocking thing you can do is prove that medical experts and personal determination can coexist. Sometimes, shocking the world means finding a way to be both incredibly careful and incredibly brave at the same time. Jackie Chan spent 30 years proving that those qualities are not contradictory. They are complementary. And when they work together, they create possibilities that neither safety nor danger could achieve alone. The Yugoslavia hospital room changed everything for Jackie Chan, not by ending his career, but by forcing him to rebuild it on a foundation of intelligence rather than just courage. That rebuilding shocked the medical world, the film industry, and everyone who believes that accepting limitations means abandoning dreams. It does not. It means finding smarter ways to pursue those dreams. And sometimes, finding smarter ways creates results that are more spectacular than anything courage alone could achieve.